Just like a great number of people, I've always been curious about the human nature. How can we be so close to something, be that something, and yet not understand it? Many have tried to explain it. Aristotle, Kant, Hume, Rousseau. But this is the 21st century. Things have changed. Kind of. We're still human, still have wars, progress, humor, rivalry. The only thing that's really changed is that now we have memes.
Buying mince pies before Christmas is immoral.
I mean, a richer history to learn from, as well as far more scientific knowledge. Regardless, I think it'd be interesting to hear the speculations of everyday people on the matter for once. So, about a month ago, I invited a few students from the University of Essex to take part in a non-scientific study about the human condition and how we understand it and face it as people. The documentary was to include individual interviews with the subjects, as well as a group conversation that would be structured around questions which had given to one of them to read out loud. Their answers in both settings were quite interesting and diverse, which I think perfectly describes the human nature itself. The first question they were asked in the group setting was, what is a human?
A very complicated creature that makes even the simplest things complicated.
If you grew a genetic human, but it never thought anything, you'd still consider it to be a human, wouldn't you?
No.
See, I would.
I'd say
I only
sentience
see-
is what defines humanity.
Nah, I'd say it's our biological makeup. You are what is inside
Yeah.
But without
But-
the personality, you can be called a human.
A fetus, for example. A fetus is a human, even though it doesn't think, doesn't really have sentience, but still consider it human.
I think biological, but I think they have to have their own thoughts and emotions and be able to be something more than just like a house. Even if the biological makeup is to see it. Alright. So it's a corpse. What do you do with a corpse? You burn it, you bury it.
What is a human?
It's a person who is not, well, it is of the animal world, but is a Homo sapiens, descended from Neanderthal, Mysterian, all those. To be human is to feel anger and love and fear, and as humans we reproduce. That allies us to the animal world. Sometimes we seem to lose our focus on what is important.
Earlier you said that basically one thing that defines us as a species is our ability to feel emotions. So would you say that psychopaths are still humans?
They're still human, even though they are, I would guess, potentially a flawed human.
They have, of course they have emotions, but they're just not the same emotions that we have. They're channeled in a different way. Yes, they're human. Yes, absolutely they're human. That's not for me to say. It's a bit deep for me. I wouldn't say they're subhuman, let's just say that.
Do you think people could ever reach a collective agreement about everything?
No.
No.
What would happen if everyone did reach an agreement?
People are completely different, and there will be always be different views, and there will be always be at least one person who is not going to go with this idea.
For example, a hive mind was at all possible, where everyone shared thoughts and experiences, and so everyone had the same inputs and outputs, then yes, there could be universal agreement.
Who wouldn't like it if everyone had reached an agreement?
I think it would be a terrible idea for everybody to always have the same views on things, because then you would never enable real change.
You'll lose the competitive feeling, like if you want to persuade someone, like you're like
you can't debate anymore.
Oh, wouldn't it be boring?
It's boring, you can't argue, you have no conflict, you have nothing,
yeah.
you're just reaching an agreement all the time, at the end you're like peace.
There'd be no challenges, would there?
Consensus can lead to very great things, but it can also lead to very bad things. An example of this would be Nazi Germany.
So are you basically saying that conflict is a good thing?
I think conflict is natural.
Yeah.
Conflict
It's natural.
is human
It's human
nature.
nature, exactly.
Yeah,
Just because it's
it's not-
natural doesn't mean it's good though.
No, of course it doesn't mean it's good.
I think it's
For-
beneficial in the long run.
For instance, I feel like war is the stupidest human thing, but at the same time there's conflicts and conflicts. There's conflicts that are absolutely terrible and deadly and so on. There's conflicts that people can learn from.
So in a way you're saying that conflict is good.
Degrees of conflict. Don't bring out knives and start stabbing people or causing harm to others. Conflict that can be resolved by rational, steady, calm individuals. That kind of conflict is necessary.
Do you dislike labels?
Yes, but I also dislike that you can easily apply them to people.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are judged before they've even had their chance to say anything, to do anything. I feel like it's something that everyone does, unintentionally almost. It detracts from you being able to properly get to know someone.
Oh yeah, I hate them.
And when you were explaining it, you said that you're a Muslim, a human, and a woman. Aren't those labels?
Yes, there are. I don't like labels, but I use them. Sorry.
For me, labels are a way to define yourself from the others.
Depends on the label. Some labels are useful. Autism, for example. It enables me to have people be more understanding. I don't dislike labels themselves, but I dislike how they're used sometimes.
I think the only person that can label someone is themselves. They help you know where you stand.
I think they're a matter of life. Like, I dislike the fact that they have to be there, but I think that it's impossible to have them not be there.
Like, they give us a straight opinion from someone else.
It depends, because some people may like to label themselves, and I respect that.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yes, but there are labels and labels. I mean, I like to see labels on things on the supermarket, so I'm not buying a tin of peaches instead of baked beans. Yeah, we have to have labels in some way or another to identify ourselves, but they would be not horrid ones, but necessary and benign.
Is there something that you've always wanted to know about other people?
How they think.
Just the way that people think.
How other people think.
How they think, like how they act and why they do that.
Why they do the things they do more precisely.
It's not really ideal in society nowadays to ask really deep questions. When you ask someone, how are you feeling? The ideal answer would be good. You will never expect someone to actually tell you how they're feeling. And this is like built up for many years now. And I feel like it's hard to actually get into this deep level with people without being like weird about it.
I have difficulty understanding other people's emotions. It would be very useful to me if I could understand that, because I've inadvertently upset people or annoyed people because I don't understand that.
I have my life and everything that's happening in it, like all the ups and downs and all the problems and stuff. And everyone else has that too. Because like, you don't always think that. Like, you always think, oh yeah, there's such and such doing what they do. But they have their own life with everything in it, but it's just some nosy bastard.
Are they happy or are they experiencing difficult times? And how can I help them go through that time?
Their opinions, I guess? Like, of me, that's really weird to say.
Do they like me or not?
Do they like me? Not really. The things I might have wanted to know, I've probably asked.
What is your definition of morality?
Social construct. They're also a way to justify what you've done. Certain people in extreme situations, like in a war or in a revolution or whatever, they're sitting there killing everybody, but they see it as a means to an end, so they justify it by saying, these people have done things worse than me, so I'm doing good by taking them out of the picture.
Would them not killing someone just because of the legal repercussions they could face, would you call that morality?
No. Thinking maybe people that I consider not to have morals have their own moral system that they accept as such, and it's just completely different from mine.
I would sacrifice my life easily to make the world a better place.
The initial reaction of most people who consider themselves good, so to say, would be yes, definitely, I would do it. But then when you think about it a bit more, you realize you're going to save, let's say, more than half of the world, and the people who love you, you are their world, you would destroy theirs completely, so there's another moral dilemma here.
What is your definition of morality?
It's a social construct that has developed over the centuries in which we have had a society in which people are supposed to behave in certain ways.
What is your definition of sanity?
Isn't it that rational thought, deem yourself to be mad, then you are in a bad place. But if you yourself say, I'm entirely sane, then you are perceived to be mad yourself.
Mm.
So either way, you're considered mad.
Yeah.
I would say sanity is a combination of rational thought and emotional intelligence as well.
More about what society views as normal than just like an inherent thing. The Spartans used to leave weak children on a hillside. They thought that was perfectly fine. Other people would think that's insane.
The definition of sanity, can it be defined? By whose criteria is it defined? What is insane? People who do harm? Is that insanity? I'm not even sure you could define it as that, because they would be able to argue their case rationally and could put forward a case that they actually were sane and it was the same thing to do, which is very scary, which is insane, really.
Do you think uniqueness is a thing?
Good question.
That's a good question.
That's a hard one.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes, yes, I feel it must be.
We are all unique.
What is unique about yourself?
Huh. That's hard.
That's a good question.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know.
If you could learn one thing, anything, what would that be?
How to be kinder when I haven't been, how to be less impatient as best I can, to be a better human being in relation to the others around me. I can't do much about climate change or the rainforests. I can't do much about politics. My voice is almost meaningless, but I can do something in my community, in my family, and with my friends. I can reach out to be a better person with those with whom I am in direct contact.
I decided to write a poem based on their answers in order to condense everything that was said in only a few words. Human is animal, logic, emotion. Human is stranger, family, foe. Humans are each a river of notions, ignoring the darkness to which we'll go. Human is uncertainty, certainty, knowledge. Human is ignorance, hatred, and bliss. The need to create and to demolish. Trust and betrayal, Judas's kiss. Human is empathy, self-preservation. Human is demon and angel and God, for warriors are sin and our liberation. Human's creator, destroyer of worlds.
Alright. Would you say that most people today are sane?
Oh, God knows, who knows? Nobody knows.